Alright, this will be a trade recap video for Monday, June 29th, 2026. So looking at the pre-market plan, I'm taking a look here at price. Since last week, I believe, about the 23rd, we've been in a very clear higher time frame balance. There's been kind of two ranges within this balance. Like the first few days, we were more on this upper side. Then we kind of started to put in value down here on the lower side. But at this point, it's it's not clear enough for me to play a range within the range, so I'm really just looking at this is the high and this is the low of this higher time frame range, and that's what I'm basing everything on. So three main setups today. The first were just mean reversions at this high and at this low to look for target back inside, and then the third was price was looking like it might open weak and not even test these 90-95 highs. So I was watching for if price could hold below this previous day high at the 60s, and there was a little bit of support there at the 55s from the pre-market, like kind of up in here. If we could open up weak and hold below this level through here, hold somewhere down here, I would look for a potential mean reversion similar to my scenario one. Just instead of coming off of that rejection up there at the res, it'd be coming off of opening weakness. But this range is big enough to where I'm willing to take a play like that. So market opens up, has a nice rally, has a really nice long continuation setup right here. Perfect low volume node was held and defended, but I did not take it due to context as we were still inside that higher time frame balance. For me, it made more sense to wait till the high was tested and then look for sellers to come in, and that's exactly what happened. So we'll take a look at the tape screenshots real quick. So price comes up, gets to tests that 90-95 level, pretty close to it at the 88s, starts rejecting, and then we get a nice sell-off after absorption here and absorption here. So at that point, I'm kind of watching this for a retest to get in the short. Up in here a little bit more up in there. It failed. We didn't see that exhaustion from buyers that we want to see. We saw some consolidation here at the highs. At this point, I had to avoid it because we were too close to the highs. And then we got this really nice confirmation here. So what happened was buyers stepped in aggressively, very aggressive buyers. And they got trapped. And on top of just them getting trapped, you can see this offer goes away, reloads. That's a clear sign of a seller sitting up there. That's called a re-offer or a rebid if it's on the other side. And yeah, you see large buyers come in, not get rewarded. This offer holds. We immediately come back down into our range. Price starts to sell off a little bit more. Ideally, we would have seen a little bit more of aggressive selling, a little bit more like that. But we get a nice little retracement. You can see not much buying here. I consider that exhaustion. And then selling starts to come in again, and I go ahead and get my entry. And I did size down on this due to volatility being a little bit higher. I pretty much decided that on this first sell-off when I saw that this doesn't look like much of a move here, but it's from 88s to... It's a 14-point move, so like I'm thinking if I get in on something like that, I don't want to risk like over 5 points with full size to get stopped out and then re-enter if that's kind of what I'm thinking is likely to happen. And I'm feeling like conditions are volatile enough to where I might get stopped out really quick and I want to look for another entry, and I'd rather not risk full size doing that. So that's kind of why, I know that was kind of jumbled and rambled, but that's kind of the idea for taking less size. It's one of my key elements in trading is adjusting to volatility and conditions, and I failed to do it last week. So I'm glad I did it here. And I will say it did kind of not piss me off, but I'm like, right after I got in, I was like, maybe I should have taken full size, because I ended up getting in with less than 5 points of risk. And with the type of move I was looking for, like, which is happening right now, of course, like it can get explosive on these higher time frame mean reversions. It can turn into a very nice trending intraday day. And yeah, like you can see, I got out my last at 70 and we're 60 points lower. So a runner could have absolutely crushed it today. And that's to say that you don't get stopped out here, you don't get stopped out here, you don't get stopped out here. But even so, if you did, you're still getting another 20, 30 points on top of that last skill. So adjusted size due to volatility, yes, that's good. However, it does suck knowing that I was going for such a big move and not being able to fully capitalize on it. But it's not about catching everything. It's about getting your piece of the pie and moving on. So we'll look at a few more pictures here. Apologize for kind of rambling on there. But my first watch that I had to break after getting in this entry was this low volume node right here. I needed to see the selling continue to push in here and break through that 78s, which by the time I took the screenshot, it pretty much already was. But yeah, you can see we're right up here near that high of the balance, rejecting, looking for a potential mean reversion. So if this is the full balance, mean is somewhere in here around the 20s, 30s, 10s. And yeah, we're at the 10s right now. And I got out all the way up here. A little bit frustrating. I'll be frustrated all day, but I shouldn't be because I followed my rules. I adjusted accordingly. Yeah, we'll learn from it. So another screenshot, you can see this is when I first started getting interested. We see absorption, selling come in. Didn't get an entry here. Then we see further sell or buy and absorption. Price then starts rejecting again, and this is where I get my entry. Here you can see another low volume node. That one goes, yeah, that's exactly what I was watching right down there to the, I said 78. This one goes to like 77s. You can see that little extra volume there. Did not look as appealing on the depth of market. But, yep, I'm talking way too much on this one. Here's the results of that trade. We get in here, market sells off. I get out for 12.75 points, 2.68 R. Again, I cannot be mad about that. But yeah, it could have turned into a 10 plus R trade, which doesn't happen much. So I guess I'm not mad about how I handled it today, but there is potential to learn from it. And next time we are potentially rejecting a higher time frame balance extreme, maybe I should look to do full size unless we're super volatile, like where I'm risking like 7 or 8 points, 6 or 7, 8, something like that. But yeah, it was right in a tricky area where I didn't know exactly what my fill would be. I didn't know if it'd be 5, more than 5, and if I would have lost, say it would have ended up being 5.5 points risk and I lost full size, and the trade doesn't work out, then I'm sitting here with a lot different mindset right now. Still caught 12.75 points. That's phenomenal. But yeah, this is the only day I get to trade this week, so it'll be a whole nother week before I make a recap video. So yeah, peace.